Mm.
We're ready. Hello, welcome to yoga on this Wednesday evening with me, Cheyenne. Thank you for being here tonight, mostly for you. I mean, I always love the company. I think teaching is such a gift. But really, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here for you. We take care of ourselves and we can do everything else too. Today's also kind of a celebration. I didn't get to teach last week because I banged my foot up pretty bad. And so I'm super happy to be back here. But it's always very humbling for me to go through an injury because I typically run to frustration and tears and anger when it first happens. Oh, my yoga practice won't be what it was. But then I come to these thoughts where I realize that, gosh, I teach advice for these things all the time. You know, yoga doesn't have to look like this. Yoga doesn't have to be like that. Yoga can be done sitting with your eyes closed on a beach or in your kitchen. And it can be done on your hands. It can be done on your feet. It can be whatever you need it to be. Which is how our lives kind of roll too, right? Something comes in and bangs us up. Something gets in the way, and maybe it's easier to think about all of the things that were better before it, but that's not when we are. I mean, that's not where we are. We don't live in the past. We live in the right now, and here is what we make it. So I'm grateful to be back on my feet today in my asana practice and all of my standing postures. I'll celebrate those with you. Thank you for celebrating them with me. So today we'll start seated right here in Sukhasana. And for some of us, Sukhasana doesn't look like this, right? Crossing your legs. For some of us, Sukhasana means our legs are out long in front of us. Maybe we're sitting up on a block, if you have a block at home. Butterfly legs, or even if you need to start lying down, start there. Because everything in this practice is a suggestion. Because everything you need is already within you. So here we are, and maybe you've settled right in, or maybe like me today, there are plenty of things still trying to work themselves out. And maybe that's in our physical bodies, maybe that's in our whirling minds. But if you can, if you're willing, lay those things to rest. One by one, replacing those thoughts with here, with right now, with the feeling of the weight in your hips, in your feet. Fill your mind with the thoughts about your toes underneath you, the base of your spine as it anchors you strong. If you're willing, if you're able, maybe turn those thoughts into ones you control. And anything that passes by, give it away. And just as sweetly, send it on its way. For some of us, the breath in the belly is a place we find ourselves arriving. For some of us, maybe that's not so quick, and that's okay. Placing a hand gently on the heart and gently on the belly. Increasing those places of recognition, right? We recognize ourselves when we acknowledge it, us. And here, as we acknowledge our breath, it becomes ours again. Maybe even a little deeper, a little wider, a little longer. Slowing down. And here we'll sit with our breath for just another moment. And if you'd like to set an intention for your practice, maybe think of this as a goal. Maybe today you're searching for strength, for calm, for control. Feel free, feel welcome to find that goal, that intention, that purpose, and embrace that here. In every breath, every posture we find today, this is yours. If the hands are on the body, gently let them fall down, down to the knees, palms face down. We'll start here with the gentlest of shoulder rolls. Inhaling, feeling them as they come all the way up to the ears. And exhale to drop down, down the back. The shoulder blades coming together. And a few more of these at your own pace with your own breath. Shoulders up. Shoulders down. Inhaling to match body to breath. Exhale, shoulders fall down the back. Pausing here, and as you're ready, letting that chin drop all the way down towards the chest. And we'll swing ever so gently from ear to ear, from side to side. The right ear to the right shoulder. And all the way around, left ear to left shoulder. Pausing anywhere you'd like, or just a few more of these gentle, mindful places. And breathe. Chin falls down to the chest, the head returns to neutral. And we sit tall. Remember those shoulders, how they fell down your back. Here they are again. Remember those breaths that you took so big. Come back to those. Fill yourself with this moment and everything you need. Before we'll make our way all the way down to the mat. Both of our hands will come under our shoulders and our knees underneath our hips for tabletop. Finding a stable and safe, strong way to support our practice. And here, for many of us, a good old friend, cat-cows, dropping the belly, gaze shifts up, breathe in. Exhaling to round the back. Maybe the chin tucks in slightly. Inhale to drop the belly, gaze shifts up, open the chest. Exhale to round. Few more of these inhales, always draw you up. Exhales, draw you down. Option to move through these a few more times, or start to add a few of your own movements. Some of us tuck our toes. Maybe we send the hips back. Inhale forward. Look up. Exhale, option again. Send the hips back. Inhale forward. Two more of whatever you are choosing today. To be here, to control the breath, and in turn, take control of our lives. Settling here, neutral spine, and all the way back onto the heels, if that's comfortable for you. Otherwise, the option to come up onto the knees. We're just going to take care of our wrists here. I shouldn't say just. We are very gratefully, necessarily taking care of our wrists here. Much more than just adjust. So we turn them one way. Maybe we reach all the way up to the sky. Especially if you've got some tunes in your ears like I do. We'll exhale to switch directions. Maybe coming all the way back down. Back down to our foundations, our tabletop, our strong selves here on the mat in our physical bodies, preparing for what's next. Our fingertips grip the mat. And as we inhale, the right arm comes out long in front, reaching forward. Exhale to kick the left foot back if you'd like. Next breath in, push yourself away from the mat. And breathe. If you'd like to add a few circles in the wrists or the ankles, take that here. Some of us prefer movement. Some of us, steady. We all arrive here differently, but we all arrive here together. And back down to the mat. Cat cows, inhale, gaze up, drop the belly. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, back to center. And the same love for the other side. We'll inhale that right arm long in front, reaching maybe ear to bicep. Exhale, option to kick the right foot back. Inhale the belly in, pull up away from your mat. And breathe here. Through the movement. In those wrists or those ankles. Or breathe here. In your stillness. One more breath in. Gently release down. Child's pose. Maybe the toes touch together. Hips sink back to heels. Forehead towards the ground, or maybe a block or stacked fists. Option to have the fingertips reaching for the front of the mat and actively pulling the elbows off the ground. Or if you're ready for rest, sink in. Drop the elbows. Drop the need to do something more. Maybe here you just notice. And my, what a gift it is to have the time to notice. Notice the breath. The breath as it fills your belly, as it fills your body, your whole self. Next breath in, all the way back up, tabletop. Those fingertips grip the mat. Next inhale, that right arm comes long again. You remember this place. Exhale, option. Take the left foot back. Inhale, pull the belly in, push away from your mat. Exhale to stay, or option to reach for that back foot. Maybe the hand reaches, maybe it doesn't. And if you'd like, if your hand does happen to find that foot behind you, go ahead and kick. And if you notice that knees start to splay out to the side, bring that back in. Make this less about what it looks like and more about what it feels like. And when you're ready, wherever you are, releasing just as mindfully as we arrived. Catch your breath, maybe add a cat-cow, gaze shifts up, belly drops. Exhale to round the back, belly draws in. Inhale back to center. Exhale to be here. Inhale, left arm long. This could be your stopping point. Or if you'd like, exhale to take left foot back. We push ourselves away from the mat. We grip the mat with the fingertips. And then we give ourselves options to explore. Maybe reaching for that back foot. Maybe catching it. Or even adding a kick. Hips parallel to the ground. And the breath is strong. Breathe in even longer than you thought you could. Exhale even stronger than you think you need. And release. All the way to the mat. Oh, I can't see you, but beautiful job. Drop your hips back to your heels. Surrender in your place of rest, maybe child's pose. And see if you can feel maybe that heartbeat. And if not, maybe your breath. See what you notice here as the challenge, the physical strength, I should say, starts to pick up. Where did your attention go? Invite it back here. And if your attention is, oh, my breath has quickened, okay, you're right. Would you like to slow it down? The option is yours. Every inhale fills the body. Every exhale, surrender. Ready for sun salutations? I certainly am. We'll come all the way back up onto all fours. To move into our very first downward facing dog, let's walk those hands one handprint in front. Send the shoulders right over the wrists. Tuck the toes and send those hips up and back. Hello, hamstrings. Maybe here we pedal into those feet, bending at the knee, one and then the other. So wake up slow. Never demanding things of our body, but politely inviting them into the space we wish to be. And breathe. And find your stillness before making your way all the way to the front of the mat. Here in our forward fold, please welcome any amount of bend in your knees that you would like. A really beautiful place to end, if it feels good in your body, is with the belly or the chest even onto the thighs and the hands. You can wrap around the elbows. But we're all in different places. We're all in different bodies. And this looks very different for all of us. So we're kind to ourselves. Humbled by the greatness that we can achieve and the places that we cannot. Our next breath in, we'll find our halfway lift. The hands come to the legs. And really here what we're thinking about is drawing the belly in and lengthening the spine. So we feel a long line from the crown of the head all the way to the tailbone. And we notice here as well where our weight in our feet is. And lastly, taking the shoulders, drawing them back together, opening the chest, and maybe even feeling a difference. We'll exhale to forward fold. Welcome the bend if you'd like. Inhale to reach and rise. The arms come all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands down to heart center. Catch your breath. Maybe come back to your intention. Let the shoulders release. Let the jaw feel heavy. We are here. Our sun salutations. As we breathe in, we lift the hands, we reach up. Exhale to forward fold. Reaching for the feet. Inhale, halfway lift, straight backs. Exhale, forward fold. We plant the hands, step all the way back to plank or kneeling plank. Inhale here. Exhale, lower down to the mat, chaturanga. Inhale up for cobra, maybe just that baby cobra. Exhale, lower back down. We'll tuck the toes. Option to use those knees to help yourself as we lift to downward facing dog. Hips up and back. Paddle out the feet. Maybe shift your weight between the hips. Or just love your stillness. Making your way to the front of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach and rise. Exhale, hands down to the heart. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, reach and rise. Breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Flat back, shoulder blades kiss together. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands, step all the way back to plank or kneeling plank with knees on the ground. Always the option to be there. Inhale here. Exhale to lower all the way down. Elbows tucked in tight. Inhale for cobra. That baby cobra can really be inches off the ground. And exhale all the way down. Tuck the toes. Maybe use the knees, hips up and back to downward facing dog. Paddle out the feet. Or linger in your stillness. With your breath, with these shapes, and these places that you have created. And we walk to the front of the mat. We'll inhale for a halfway lift, hinge at the hips. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach and rise. Exhale, hands down to the heart. Taking that transition breath, breathe in. Exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, reach and rise. Taking your intentions maybe up with you. Exhale, forward fold, hinging at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. We plant the hands, step back. Inhale at the top. Exhale, chaturanga, lower down. Inhale up for cobra, maybe upward facing dog with knees off the ground. And exhale to lower all the way back down. Tuck the toes, maybe use the knees, hips up and back. Downward facing dog. If you'd like to take the next 3 breaths in a child's pose, please feel free. For here we find a rest. As the rest is equally as important as the play. We'll make our way here to raising the right foot up into the sky. Exhale to sweep it through between the hands. I'll have to be a little gentle on my back foot here. So maybe you take a couple steps to get there. Option here to lower down onto that back knee. Releasing the toes or stay right up where you were. Next breath in, we inhale. Taking our strength, taking our calm, taking our breath right here with us. And finding our focus. And our strength. So maybe from here, if you are down on that back knee, you'd like to make this a bit more stretchy, you can inch the toes forward. As long as that knee stays over the ankle, keeping ourselves strong and safe. Breathe here. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, both hands down to the mat. If you're up on your leg right now, up on your back toes, lower down. We'll all come into a gentle twist. Left hand stays planted inside the foot. Inhale the right arm up to reach. An extension of all of you in every fingertip. And notice here where your power comes from. Is it all in your wrist? Let your belly help you. Pull the abs in. Let the back foot help you push away from the knee. Our bodies are miraculous things, especially when we put our mind to it. Whew, how about we go down to the mat? Up onto those back toes, if that's a comfortable way for you to get into downward facing dog. I'm going to take it a little bit easier onto my knees first and send the hips up and back. Downward facing dog, our place of rest, but maybe not everyone's place of rest. Option to take a child's pose. Beautiful place for balance, for our breath. We'll be moving on to the other side. That left foot reaches towards the sky. Exhale to sweep it through between the hands or take those few small steps. Option to drop down onto that back knee if you'd like, or stay right up. We'll all inhale to reach. And exhale to sink. If you're up on your back toes like I am right now, be mindful. We're pushing through that back heel, but keeping a micro bend in the back knee. Keep our bodies safe. The front knee comes over the front ankle. And the hands can always be at the heart. Option again, if you're down in that lunge on the ground, you can make it a little deeper if you'd like. Or stay right where you are. Next, inhale, reach up. Exhale, both hands down to the mat, one hand on each side of the foot. The back knee drops for us all, releasing the back toe. And we'll take our twist on the other side. The right hand anchored below the right shoulder. Inhaling, the left hand up. Let your belly help you here, pull in at your core. Let your fingertips grip steady like roots. And breathe. All the way down. And then up onto those back toes. We're moving to downward facing dog. If you'd like to transition this way with me, feel free. We'll all meet back in downward facing dog. Option to take a child's pose. We're finding rest here. Oh, if you'd like to, you can take the knees wide. I love a wide-legged child's pose. So please find your rest in the place that feels beautiful for you. Some of us, if the knees are in the middle, take our hands and actually place them behind us to let those shoulders kind of fall onto the ground. The shapes we make in yoga. But we make these shapes because they give us things to acknowledge. We arrive in these places through meaningful movements. And maybe here we find what we're looking for. Our intentions. We'll all bring those hands back up to the top of the mat. If the knees are wide, draw them inward. And we're all coming back up to downward facing dog. The shoulders over the wrists, the hips, up and back. From here, we settle into our long spines. Feet hip-width apart. And preparing for our warrior one. From here, we'll take that right foot and reach it all the way up into the sky. Exhale to step it through between the hands. We'll take that back foot, send the heel down, but instead of having our feet perpendicular from one another, those back toes are going to face forward as much as possible without causing strain. So from here, we'll inhale, we'll take the body up. The hands come up, and here is your time to make your adjustments. Maybe that doesn't feel so right in your back leg. Go ahead and make changes. Play with your feet. Play with the width of your stance. In warrior one, we find our hips parallel to the front of the mat. One long line with our mat. Tension to the belly here. The inhale's feeling it open. Exhale, draw the belly in. Beautifully done. Inhale to straighten that front leg. Exhale, we're going to move into warrior two. Both hands reach out. This is when that back foot gets to turn perpendicular to the front. So our front ankle lines up with the back arch now. And from here, we're going to move into triangle pose. So we're going to send that front hand forward. Send the left hip back. And drop the right hand inside of the leg. Reaching upward. Maybe feeling this in the side body. Maybe feeling a little lazy in this pose, but instead really energize through every fingertip, every toe. Next breath, and we'll inhale all the way up. Exhale, sink back into that front knee. Breathe in here. Exhale, hands all the way down to the mat. Up onto the back toes. Downward facing dog, maybe taking three-legged dog. Speaking of dogs. And we'll meet here. Breathe here. Be here. And the same love to the other side. We'll inhale that left foot up. We'll exhale to sweep the foot between the hands. Or take those few steps. We're coming into warrior one here. So we drop the back heel, but we turn those toes towards the front of the mat. And here our legs actually are almost like they're on train tracks. One foot on one train track and one foot on the other. So we're allowing ourselves a little bit of space between the feet. As we inhale to rise, come up with your belly. And make those adjustments, make those changes. Front knee over the front ankle. Maybe feeling that in the back calf, the ankle. And working towards those parallel hips to the front of the mat. Working towards dropping the shoulders, but still feeling lifted through the spine. And from here, we'll inhale to straighten the leg.
Now that we're on this side, I have to be honest, I believe you can stay right in Warrior One to transition to Triangle. So I'm gonna try that. I'm also gonna find out for sure after this class. Michelle, I'm coming for you. But if you liked Warrior Two and that felt better in your body, give that a try. So from here, that front leg is straight. The arms come out. And then we bend. Reaching down. For some of us, those fingertips might even brush onto the mat. But what a challenge it is to keep yourself held up without that third contact point on the ground. To know that that comes from the center of the body. Not just the strength of the legs, but really, you hold yourself strong. You've already gotten yourself this far. The top shoulder opens, the chest expands with every breath. Before coming all the way back up on an inhale, pull yourself up. Exhale to sink into the front knee. Inhale here. Exhale all the way down. One hand on each side of the foot, up under the back toes. Downward facing dog. Maybe a three-legged dog on your way. Find your resting pose, wherever that may be. That's fine. And for all of us here, we'll be dropping down onto the knees, releasing the toes, and sitting back onto the heels. Again, if this place is uncomfortable for you, go ahead and be right up here. If you've taken my classes, you know that we've been working on our back bends recently. So I can never explain enough how much this comes from you. Back bends are one of the poses that everybody looks at in yoga, and they want to be able to do that. I'm that person too. But back bends are about opening the heart and energizing through our chest and our whole selves, because we look up, right, in our back bends. So it doesn't matter if your back is a U shape, and it doesn't matter if you're just looking up and pulling your shoulders back, because a back bend is whatever that is in your body that gives you that feeling. So here we are. Maybe our hands come to the low back. This just helps us to open up the chest a little bit more. This helps us to feel the shoulder blades start to reach together. And maybe for some of us here, we reach down for the feet or the floor behind us. If you're all the way up here, I wouldn't recommend doing that, jumping into your camel right away. We're not quite warmed up for that. But wherever you find yourself, maybe you look up. Maybe you're already there. My goodness, maybe you've already been here for a few minutes. But I hope here that as you start to open the chest, as you start to gaze up, maybe you smile. Maybe you just breathe. I hope that here you find what you're looking for. I hope that here you realize it's been with you all along. And unwinding the back, or even just the gaze, to sit tall, to sit strong, to sit proud.
for arriving here today. We'll all make our way all the way down onto our bottoms. We're gonna come right into Baddha Konasana. Lots of us think of this as butterfly legs. It's a really wonderful counter pose for back bends. And this is another one of those places where yoga looks different for everyone. So maybe here we start with what we all have. We all have a foundation. We all have a place where our bodies meet the mat. So really, regardless of what it looks like, we're in this pose together. For some of us, our backs are craving that bend. We pull the belly in. This reminds me of a seated cat-cow. The back curves, maybe the chin tucks, and that's all you need. For some of us, we take this a little differently, and maybe our relief comes from the body folding forward towards the feet. Maybe even feeling that opening in the hips if you're choosing a deeper version of this posture. But wherever any of us are, the belly's pulled in. The back enjoys a bit of a curve. And the body rejuvenates. And the breath gets us there. And mindfully unwinding. Just the same way we arrived. Shoulders fall heavy. The breath is steady. And take those knees, draw them in together. We're going to make our way all the way down to the mat. Drawing the hips maybe to the middle of the mat first. You can arrive down there however you'd like. If you'd like to sneak through a Navasana boat pose, feel free. But we'll all be here, slowing down already. This class moves so fast. Our low backs are needing a little more attention though, if you're anything like my body. So maybe those knees come into the chest and you give yourself this grace, this freedom to rock about. To listen to your body. Take what you need. We'll all be coming here to a bridge pose by planting the feet down onto the mat. Reaching for those heels with the hands, and if you can touch them, maybe giving yourself just a little bit more space. And we ground down through the backs of the arms. We grip the mat yet again, our strong roots. And we lift from the hips. Breathe in. And exhale to stay. Adjust your feet, adjust yourself if you need, but do so ever so mindfully. And here we reset the pelvis, we reset to start anew, to start fresh in this moment. And lowering down all the way to the mat. Before we find our Shavasana, which is arriving so sweetly and so soon, I invite you to take your favorite end of your practice posture. For some people, they love to throw their feet up in the air, or legs up the wall, maybe a shoulder stand. For some of us, happy baby, bending at the knees and grabbing towards the feet is inviting, relaxing, yet rejuvenating in itself, this balance that we find. Not only that we find, that we allow ourselves, that we create. This is all a product of what we've done, of who we are, the choices we made to arrive here. Take ownership of these beautiful postures you've created. Acknowledge that every part of this practice is really all thanks to you. From here, we're going to take our feet back down to the ground. And maybe for some of us, this is right where we end today. Shavasana can always be found with the knees bent. Maybe even seated if lying on the floor isn't for you. Traditionally, as we sink into our Shavasana, the feet come flat to the mat. The heels maybe reaching for the outer edges ever so slightly. The palms faced up alongside the body. Shoulders, if they'll allow, fall open to the sides. And here in our Shavasana, we might have questions. How is this supposed to feel? How is this supposed to look? How is my breath supposed to be? And I love Shavasana so much because there's no right answer here. There's just here. So I hope that you take the shape that your body requests today. I hope that here your breath feels natural, sweetly following its own flow. And I hope here in these moments, you may find your intentions. That you acknowledge they belong to you. And for the next few minutes, we'll find rest. And I'll be waiting here, ready to bring you back so we can close our practice together, if you choose. These next few moments, these are for you. ever so gently coming back to your body. Maybe finding flickers in the fingers and the toes. Be welcoming a full body stretch, or just inviting a big breath back in to the body. And as you're ready, rolling onto one side. Maybe using that arm as a pillow to rest your head on. Tucking the knees in towards the chest. And giving yourself a moment to acknowledge this transition. To feel every moment of this change. As we arrive back to sleep. Right where we began, Sukhasana, your version of easy pose. And we come back to our foundations. The things that brought us here, our intentions, our purpose. Or maybe for you, it's just feeling that weight pushing down into the mat. Here together, all by different means. We draw our hands into the heart, and we gently bow forward to our own light, to our own greatness. Namaste. Thank you for being here with me tonight. And again, thank you as always for taking care of you. I love you and be well.